Hello, my fellow TBCians. This is John once again, and I'm broadcasting from Melbourne live. And it is a good and sunny day. Now, this is 3 p.m. in Melbourne, and we are right in the midst of a cold but sunny winter day. Things have been going on very well, and in the last couple of weeks, we have seen how much TBC has been evolving and growing, and we want to thank admin, and we are excited at what admin has put in place for us, and also how admin see us as a growing and a matured community. Now, how would I say that we are maturing? The fact is this: admin has already seen how the growth has been phenomenal. There are some members who are bringing in hundreds of members daily, and this is something to shout about. Since the competition for the cruise has started, we have seen that indeed some of the members have taken this very, very seriously, and they have taken it like a duck to water, and they have brought in two of the best recruiters in the TBC uh, community. And because of the competition and the input that all the members have given in support to TBC, the organization of TBC is growing, and it is definitely showing very healthy signs of maturity. And now is a time that admin has considered that it is no longer a necessity, or it is no longer a requirement to continue to have the 10 national leaders stationed in the various parts of the world to lead, to guide, and to build their own local communities. So admin has now decided that there is no further need for official titles of such regional leaders, national leaders, as the program continue to move forward, as the TBC family and community continue to grow. So we were, over the last 2 years, having the guidance and the leadership of these 10 leaders who have already proven their worth by doing what they have been doing, and they have been a great success. Each and every one of them is a great success. There is no difference between any of them. You cannot even separate any of them. They are all prime movers. They are great recruiters. They are great teachers and coaches. And we also are told that the voice of TBC from Randy Wilson, whom we have been so familiar with on a daily basis, now admin has considered that even Randy's voice now can be replaced by all the voices of TBC, because through the vision of admin, through the commitment of Randy, now there are many broadcasters, and those that will become broadcasters are rising up in the coming future. The existing top 10 leaders who are below the voice of TBC consisted of 7 leaders who were elected and 3 appointed leaders to make up and to fill up the 10 positions. And each of them, as I have mentioned, have served TBC community in ways that words cannot begin to describe. Each of them has won our appreciation, has won our gratitude for their works and their results. The very good uh, feedback is that we can see that the whole community, the whole TBC community, have responded and treated the leaders with great respect and love. And of course, at times, we cannot please everyone. There were a few who spoke out negatively, but I believe that this few could easily be overshadowed by the great number of other members who have come forward and shown themselves to appreciate and to give credit to the leaders. Now, admin is hoping that by removing the titles of these elected leaders, uh, that once these elected leaders who have been in the forefront are no more taken as people who are special, but now we who are broadcasters rise up and stand shoulder to shoulder with them, then there would be better support for each and every one. In other words, no more finger pointing, but we all cooperate, we all stand side by side, and we work together as a global team of leaders. Now let every TBC member step up and take on this leadership role. Now this call for leadership is not meant for only just a handful, but this call for leadership is actually for every member who is in the TBC community and in the TBC family. And this call for new leadership does not in any way diminish the respect and the recognition that the previous leaders have held and are still holding today. The leadership structures that each and every one of the previous leaders have built are already in good standing. I believe that for every one of them, in their own way, in their own nation, they already have an established structure, which is well greased, well oiled, and running perfectly. And they, in turn, they have their own 10 members each, and they, in turn, again have other members who are being trained, who are being discipled, and who are being equipped to come up and to rise up as prominent and future leaders. So, as far as the leadership is concerned, admin has seen fit that there is no further need to give any more titles to anyone. And those who have got the previous titles as national leaders and so on, all those titles would no more be in use, and no one need to be referred to as any national leader anymore. Now, I may also say that the call for the vaccination of the Voice of TBC and the 10 national leaders is a form of necessity to remove the formality, to remove all formality that we are a people with leaders that don't require legal standing to march forward in our mission and our objective for humanity. So let us understand it is Uh, that means vision. That means a plan that there should not be any rigid hierarchy, as it were. It is a global cooperation among all people who has the calling, who has the willingness, who has the ability to stand up and be counted as leaders. In this particular way, we would not be limited to only a few leaders, but we will be unlimited to global leadership. I mean also say that titles imply legality, and because TBC has been structured in such a way, we in TBC choose not to be limited to legal means to succeed at what we are doing for humanity and for the whole world. So, as a community, we refuse to fall into the legal traps and snares as we continue to move forward to the fulfillment of the maturity of the program to move forward to the maturity of the uh, TBC coin. The question that admin posed to us is this: if we have an idea, if we birth a new idea, if we birth a new project, if we birth a new opportunity, does our idea require any legal authority? Well, the answer is that depends, doesn't it? It seems evil ideas love to wrap themselves in legal authority. For example, the ideas or the deeds that are conceived and conducted for the malicious design of murder of any person or people by their government, including genocide, politicide, and mass murder. They try and legalize their action. If you Do you see the point here? So if we look around, we don't have to see far. We see within our own nation, our neighbors, and our region in the globe. There are many, many government forces that are implementing, that are planning, and they are carrying out murders, political murders, political genocide, political havoc, and all that. So all these are engineered, and all these are what we call democide. Uh, there are countless countries that are actually in this. Looking at Africa today, there are so many countries that we are reading on a daily basis of ethnic violence, of religious violence, and political violence, right? There are so many uh, countries that are engineering their own design unrest and coup so as to further and to advance their own political agenda. However, compared to all these evil plans that the elites of the world are implementing, what TBC has been implementing, which is to end global poverty. Our design, our program is based on goodness all around. Our design is based on kindness. Our design and purpose is based on goodness to all mankind. Now, if we are to look back into history, we can see thousands of years that governments uh, have refused to hear the cries of the poor to end poverty, irrespective of culture, irrespective of civilization, irrespective of the prosperity of the nation. Yes, global governments have refused to hear the cries of their people to end poverty. All they have done is to make that problem worse. So, in other words, we cannot legally end poverty. A good example is what is happening in the Middle East. There are a group of people who are receiving billions of dollars of aid everywhere from all the Western countries on an annual basis. What do we do? What do we see? The aid that they have received, the money that they have received, billions and billions of dollars, goes into the pockets of the leaders, the elites, and the people are made impoverished. The people are made to suffer. There are no schools, no hospitals, no businesses, no public transport, no amenities. So it proves that those who are in authority are only concerned about their own wealth and about their own well-being. So their main agenda is to continue hardship. The main agenda is to continue to create poverty. They would never allow the overcoming of poverty. They would never allow that the poverty be eradicated because they engineer poverty. We also know that is being engineered, the violence that is being produced, the violence that is being promoted are actually counterproductive to the objective to end poverty, of to end poverty, because violence, destruction will be followed by poverty, and violence and destruction will definitely cause poverty. So the people, we the people, all the people in the world need to realize that the responsibility of ending poverty globally rests upon the people themselves, and the people must accept it as an idea and a concept first. So therefore, if we examine and if we are realistic, an idea does not require any governmental authority. An idea does not require any other form of approval. So what we have here is not only an idea, but it is a good idea. TBC is the money that will make that idea come true. But TBC itself doesn't need legal standing to succeed. We have already said when goodness and good works are involved, we do not need the authority of any government. We do not need any legal blessing, but we can just go ahead and do the good works so that we can succeed in our good idea, which TBC has started and has already rolled out. So legal structure will naturally form around TBC to support it without obligation, like what we have seen already in the Philippines, where 110 native tribes accepted TBC as their legal currency. And again, the authority of the Philippines, the financial authority of the Philippines, the central bank has even come out to give the blessing and the approval for TBC or the Kringle coins to be a legal tender to be used among the 110 tribes that are scattered throughout the whole nation of Philippines. And it has become an alternate legal tender for their economy. So through this effort, TBC has given the 110 tribes their pathway out of their legal oppression. And this oppression has been a yoke upon their shoulders for hundreds of years, but now they are able to remove this yoke from their shoulders. So when we read about this agreement, we will see that it frees the obligation of any party from all the past agreements. So what the past agreements has done is they have been brainwashing the people into believing that something and everything needs legal standing to be in the right. Now, brainwashing is used a lot everywhere by the elite group, and more so, like the most glaring is there is a religious group in the world that brainwash their followers and brainwash their young men and the young women to go out and to kill and to destroy. And they brainwash their believers into thinking that their holy book has permitted them to do what they want to do. So they become lawless, they become rebellious, they become destructive by choice and by what they have been taught through brainwashing. So that is another area of brainwashing, apart from uh, being brainwashed to be confined in the snares and the shackles of poverty and scarcity. The world are now enslaved. The world are now um, enslaved and imprisoned in their minds towards accepting scarcity and poverty. So all that we want to do now through TBC, we want to open up the minds of the people who have been imprisoned in their minds. We want to open up their minds to the possibility and the opportunities that are open and available for all of them to be able to overcome the curse of poverty upon their lives. So, one of the first step that TBC is taking is they have now removed the titles altogether from the leaders. So, in that sense, it is to set free the leaders from the heavy burden of obligation. And it is also to set free the obligation that we have as members within the community. So if we see that these leaders or any new leaders who would step up and be seen and who is recognized as a rising leader and able to do good works to build and to develop TBC as a blessing to the people, then we need to support them. And we also need to see that there would be others whom we can also encourage, whom we can also support, and whom we can also work hand in hand with. However, as we have seen all these leaders, as we have appreciated all these leaders, we can only support them, but don't expect more from them because it is also expected that we too, in return, as we have received the support, let us also be able to offer support to others. We should appreciate all the contribution, even if the contribution are small, even if uh, they have done whatever that we consider as limited and insignificant, but yet we must appreciate and recognize the wisdom and the dedication and commitment that they have given. So let us treat the leaders with love, and let us respect all the leaders, and don't heap upon them all kinds of expectation which we would not want others to expect from us. So it is do to others what you would want others to do to you. If you don't want others to keep too much expectation on ourselves, then let us not keep too much expectation on our leaders. So here we are. Let us be givers and not be takers only in this world. Like the late great John Kennedy said, do not expect, uh, rather, think not what America can do for you, but think what you can do for America. Let's apply this to us. Think not what TBC can do for you, but think what you can do for TBC. And if we have this mindset, and if we have this attitude, we would become givers to TBC and not takers from TBC alone. Now, the leaders of this group, they have been very supportive. They have been very humble that once the call from admin was given for them to relinquish their position and their titles, every single one of them have responded immediately, and every one of them have submitted their letters of resignation willingly, and also that they have recorded their appreciation for what admin has done to develop each and every one of them as a leader. Now, coming back to the vision of admin, that admin would desire to see the TBC organization developing and becoming a global network that has the Hydra effect. Now, when admin says the Hydra effect, it does not imply that TBC will become a monster or an organization that is full of analysts. No, that is not what TBC is about. TBC being a Hydra type of organization means it has, just like the Hydra, many heads, and many more heads keep on growing. So, in other words, TBC will grow to be a global network with many heads, and each head is a potent head. Each head is a potent leader. Each head is a recognized leader, and each head is able to run and to expand and to develop TBC further. So if we look at the comparison, we look at the analogy of the Hydra, which is very difficult to kill. Once you cut off its head, it will spontaneously grow back to more heads and to replace that one that was chopped off. Now, this is what admin has in mind. There will be no one single head in TBC, but there will be millions of heads in TBC. And it is difficult to destroy, it is difficult to cut off a million heads at any time. So, admin is saying, by removing the targets off the backs of the leaders, we will grow without concern of personal attacks, because it is very foolish to chop away the heads of a hydra, and it is futile because more heads will come out. So if anyone wants to destroy BBC by attacking the national leaders, it is useless, because now we have got the Hydra effect. Now we have global leadership coming up, stepping up, and taking their position of leadership. So all these leaders that we are looking at, they are already well trained after 2 years of dedicated personal training given by the voice of TBC and also given by the 10 national leaders. So now the call is out. Admin and the leaders have called each and every one of us to step forward and be counted and be recognized to be broadcasters and to lead TBC as broadcaster, not only in our own nation, but throughout the world. We want to develop a Hydra network with 1 million equal hits and become unbeatable, even when the elites wake up to our mass exodus away from the system of control, away from the system of mind control, and also to inflict scarcity and to cause poverty. We are not going to accept that. We are going our own way. We no longer need the elites and we do not want them. We do not want to work with them anymore. But we will not fight the elites head on. We are not going to be confrontational. Our fight, our vision is not to be confrontational. We don't want to come onto a head-to-head fight because we are people who are peace-loving. We are people who are merciful. We do no harm. We compete non-violently. We compete with our wisdom, with our cooperation towards one another. So as each one of us begin to enjoy abundance, and each one of us become a force of influence and a force of training, then we would be able to become the powerful force that even the elites will find difficult to influence and difficult to overcome. So let us, each and every one of us, become masters of our own destiny. We have now cast off the chains that enslave us individually. Each of us must deprogram our mind that has been brainwashed in the past. Deprogram it so that our mind is free from the snares and from the shackles of scarcity and poverty. Let us see the wisdom that admin has put into the program of TBC, and let us look within ourselves to find the strength to become a self-appointed leader that does no harm to the people, that does no harm to our community, but we are there to build our own community, to build our own kingdom. Let the principle of light, let the principle of righteousness, let the principle of sincere gratitude, let the principle of loyalty, let the principle of friendship, of mercy, let the principle of mercy and forgiveness, justice for all, abundance, peace, love, joyful living, let the principle of humility that comes from strength, kindness, generosity, and helpfulness guide your thoughts, guide your words, guide your action, knowing you are far from perfect for the moment while we aspire towards having and developing personal perfection. Let us be good to one another in the TBC community. Let us have compassion for one another and let us continue to build and to support one another. So I have again finished my half an hour broadcast, and I trust that you would have been inspired. I trust that you will understand why TBC admin has already revealed due to us the necessity for the vaccination of all the official leaders. So we will continue to look on the development and we'll continue to walk alongside admin and the leadership and the members of TPC community day by day. And that is all I have for you today. And I hope you have benefited. I hope you have been encouraged. And I leave you at this point. Cheers, bye bye, and be blessed. John signing off right now.